Welcome to our first Gospel Project Wild online meeting. These are the things you'll need. If you don't have these things, it's okay. Just keep watching. Remember, the first thing we do is the Shema. So say it with me. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words that I command you today shall be on your heart. See if you can say the answers to our questions before I say them. What is our only hope in life and death? That we are not our own, but belong to God. What is God? God is the creator of everyone and everything. How can we glorify God? By loving Him and by obeying His commands and law. Is anyone or anything greater than God? No, God is greater than everyone and everything. How is Jesus the perfect King? Jesus perfectly rules over the universe as King of Kings. What does God know? This is a new question, so think about it for a few seconds before I give you the answer. God knows everything about the past, present, and future. Because God knows everything, we should trust Him and His wisdom. In our Bible story today, Solomon asked God for wisdom. God comes to Solomon in a dream and He says, I'll give you whatever you want. After thinking about it for a little bit, Solomon tells God, I want wisdom. And because Solomon asked for such a great gift, God not only gives him wisdom, but He gives them other human riches and stuff as well. But Solomon asked God for wisdom. If God came to you in a dream and said, I'll give you whatever you want, what would you ask for?
David was the king of Israel for many years. His son Solomon was going to be king after him. Before King David died, he gave Solomon some instructions. Be strong and brave, Solomon, David said. Obey God and you will be successful. God will keep His promise that every king of Israel will come from our family. When David died, Solomon became the king of Israel.
One night, God appeared to Solomon in a dream. God said, Solomon, ask for anything you want, and I will give it to you. Anything? A king might have asked to live a long life or to have lots of riches. Solomon could have asked God to give him victory over all his enemies. But Solomon did not ask to be rich or to have a long life. Solomon wanted to be a good king. He asked for something even better.
Solomon prayed, God, I am young, and I do not know very much about being a king. Please make me wise and obedient to you. Help me know the difference between right and wrong. Help me lead your people well. God was happy with Solomon's request. God said, I will give you wisdom. In fact, I will make you more wise and understanding than anyone who has ever lived. No one in the future will ever be as wise as Solomon.
God also said, because you asked for wisdom, I will also give you what you did not ask for, long life, riches, and honor. You will be greater than any other king during your lifetime. Then Solomon woke up. He praised God and offered sacrifices to worship Him.
Solomon was a king who wanted to do God's plan. Solomon wasn't perfect, but God had a plan to give His people a greater and wiser king, His son, Jesus. Jesus completely trusted God. Jesus surrendered His own life to die on the cross for our sin.
take your Bible and open it to 1 Kings chapters 2 and 3. 1 Kings is in the Old Testament. If it takes you a little while to find it, pause the video. You're going to need it to answer the questions I'm about to put on the screen. Using your Bible and your notepad or a piece of paper, write down the answers to these questions. If you're doing this as a family worship time, don't worry about writing your answers down, just discuss them. If it takes you longer to answer the questions than I give you on this video, pause the video. Question number 1. What did David tell Solomon about God? Number 2. What did Solomon ask God for? Number 3. What did God give Solomon? Number 4. Why do you think Solomon asked for wisdom? Number 5. How is Jesus greater than Solomon? Activity. Draw yourself as a grown-up. Include details about the job you'll have. And what skills does this job need? Send a picture or a video to to me, or post it to social media with the hashtag RidgeKidsWild. The questions and the activity can be found on a PDF document at the link below. This is a downloadable document. That means you can download it and print it off, or you can just view it on a device and answer the questions and do the activity. Solomon was a wise king who wanted to do God's plan. Solomon wasn't perfect, but God had a plan to give his people a greater and wiser king, his son, Jesus. Jesus completely trusted God the Father. Jesus surrendered his own life to die on the cross for our sin. That's what we take away from the story. Solomon was a wise king, but Jesus is even wiser. We should trust him, read his word, and trust what he says. You did it. That's the first Wild Gospel Project meeting right there. It won't be this exact same every single Sunday. And I'm going to try and have the links up posted between Friday and Monday. That way you can decide as a kid, or you can decide with your parents as a family when you're going to do these Bible studies, if you're going to do them together or not. So they will not all be the same every single week, but they will have, number 1, the Shema. Number 2, our questions, our catechism questions. It will include the video of the Bible story, and it will include some questions. And I'm hoping you'll do the activities that I put on there. So this week's activity is that you need to draw yourself as a grown-up. So do that, post a video of it explaining what you want to be when you grow up and why you want to be that, and some skills that might be involved in that. Also, remember that wisdom, the ability to do the things that God has led you to do, comes from Him. It comes from God Himself. So ask God for wisdom. That's what Solomon did when God came to him and God said, "What do you want?" He could have said anything. Solomon literally could have said, "I want to be the richest man ever." He could have said, "I want to be the most handsome man." He could have said, "I want big houses and lots of horses," but he didn't. He thought about it, and when God said, "Solomon, what do you want?" Solomon said, "I want wisdom." So wisdom comes from God and the ability to do the things that God has laid on your heart. So right now you might be thinking of a job that you want. Well, I want you to draw that, and I want you to either take a picture of what you've drawn with some explanation about it, or take a video of you talking about that. So one way we can stay connected to each other is by doing these activities and sending them to me or posting them directly to social media. Hashtag RidgeKidsWild for these activities. So the activities that are connected to our Wild and our Gospel Project, I want you to use hashtag RidgeKidsWild. Okay? So that was our first one. And like I said, not all of them will be the exact same, but they will be kind of similar. You can find these on our YouTube. I'll also send the links out in emails. I'll also send it on Facebook, so you'll have it. Right below this video is a link to the PDF, which means it's a document that you can download, and that link will take you to a site Well, I put the PDF on the site and you can download the PDF, okay? So keep on the lookout for these videos.